Hey folks, Post here, welcome back to another Poem Master video, and today we're having the Tapu Bulu Legendary Arena, right? And let's talk about it, in terms of some units that you probably want to invest in a bit, right? If you haven't already, to sort of prepare for the whole thing, right? So first of all, let's go to some info provided by Absolutely, right, about the Tapu Bulu Legendary Arena, right? So let's just check out what it does first, right? Again, not everything's 100% confirmed yet, but we'll look at this first. So, it is a grass type. It's weak to. It has two weaknesses. It's kind of like Latios, right? It swaps its weaknesses. First weak to poison, then weak to flying. Either first weak to poison, then weak to flying, or first weak to flying, then weak to poison. I don't remember which one's first. But regardless, doesn't really matter, right? So let's talk about all this stuff. So in terms of passives, it just have like a few passives that are pretty annoying, right? First of all, the big one is, let's see, this one, the name passive. When it enters the battle, it creates grassy terrain on the battlefield. It'll heal itself when using grass moves and grassy terrain effect, raises damage to grass moves. So that's what grassy terrain does. Heals Tapu Bulu and increases his grass move damage, and also has Green Thumb, which turns the field into grassy terrain after using a sync move. Also, a passive like it's easy, some of our units having in the future would be pretty cool, right? Syncing and then giving us terrain. That would be nice, right? So, that's the main issue that we kind of have to deal with Tapu Bulu, is that in grassy terrain, when it's using grass type moves, it's going to heal. It's going to heal, and it's going to do 50% more damage on those, right? And that is an issue. So how do we stop that, right? So basically, I would think that most strategies would be revolving around delaying its sync move, right? And there are many ways to delay a sync move in Legendary Arena, right? Either put it to sleep, either flinch it, right? So, once you flinch it or put it to sleep, it does not do any of that stuff anymore. However, there is a slight issue with that, right? It does have a slight issue, where it has lesser interference for one, right? Each time an abnormal status like flinch, confusion, traps reduce the a reduced effect duration and raises user's resistance until immune to that effect. And it has less than flinch from 1 all the way to 9, and then after 9 it gains unflappable, right? So you can't flinch it in an unlimited amount of times. Every time it flinches and recovers, it'll raise its resistance to flinch, right? Which we've seen on other units like Entei, right? So that could be an issue, and it does the same to confusion and trap as well. So that could be a bit of an issue, right? In terms of that, I don't think I see lessen sleep here, so that could be a good opportunity. That could definitely be a good opportunity, because there's no lessen sleep here, there's no wide awake here. If that's the case, again, this info is it's not 100% complete, right? But if it doesn't, and it doesn't seem like it does, this thing's gonna get destroyed by sleep, by sleep teams. Sleep teams are just gonna, obliterate this, right? So we don't have to worry too much. So yeah, as for some other passives that it has, lessen poison, trap, whatever. Offense, defense, it's kind of like stoic, except the wording's a bit different, right? Lesser burn 9, steady resolve 5, mitigation reduction of special attack, train body 3, mitigation the reduction of defense. Trip up 4, a good chance of lowering the target's speed when an attack is successful. This is annoying. This is very, very annoying. Lowering your team's speed is always annoying, right? That's always really, really annoying and really bad. So, bring some units with like haste or something, whatever, would help, right? If I remember correctly, let's see, where is it? Does Skyla, not Skyla, Swanna, does Swanna have haste? I think Swanna has haste, right? Yeah, Swanna has haste. So, some units with haste would be pretty effective here for tanking, right? Because you don't want to get your team's speed lower. But when it does use like any AoE moves that obviously you can't do really much unless you just have like whole team with like Haste Users, right? Let's check out some of the Haste Users. Brennan Trico, Marley Arcanine, Koga Crobat, Blue Pidgeot, player Torchic, support Tech Scyther, and Striker Scyther. Okay, some Eggmons. This is very, very good. This is very, very good because once we start talking about, some of the strikers that we're going to use, stuff like Koga and Pidgeot, these are very, 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 very good offensive units to use against Tapu Bulu, right? In this instance, both of them do massive amounts of damage and are also super effective against Tapu Bulu, and both are probably the best choice for each of their typings, right? So that's nice. That's definitely nice. And they all have haste, which is, again, fantastic. This is all really, really good. Let's check out some of its moves. Oh, these are some of the effects once the HP bar thing goes under half, right? So let's go through them by order of how I'm posting them, I guess. Second HP bar at 50%. Oh, so at the second HP bar, when it's at 50% max HP or less, it has sure hit and sure crit, which is very, very annoying. Sure crit's always very annoying. And then after that, you have after you lose the first HP bar, it'll have a sure crit. After you lose the second HP bar, it'll have attack +3. Reduces physical damage done to the allied field of play HP below half for the first time in a battle. That's for the first bar, right? Sharply raises user's accuracy when HP is below half or below for the first time in a battle as well. Activate self buff at 50% max HP or less at the third HP bar. So another crit, guaranteed crit. So that's 3 guaranteed crits that we have to survive, right? Third HP bar, activate self buff at that's a third HP bar. Like these activate at the same time. Attack +3, evasion +3, plus the guaranteed crit. So it's gonna get +6 attack relatively. Well, I wouldn't say easily because you do have to beat them down without HP bars, right? So that's gonna be pretty annoying. That's definitely gonna be pretty annoying. But again, we've been used to them so far. Anyways, let's check out some of its moves. So it has a special, energy ball, right? It's energy ball, brutal swing. These generally don't hurt that much. Brutal swing could be annoying with the lowering speed thing AoE wise if you don't have enough haste units. Zen headbutt, the flinch chance is annoying, but it shouldn't hurt that much. Dazzling gleam, same as brutal swing. And then grass impact is the sync move, obviously, right? So the one to really look out here is, outside of the AoE moves, is energy ball, because it does get its damage boosted by grassy terrain and also heals Tapu Bulu, so that's kind of annoying. I would assume these are moves that it gains later on into its move gauges. I'd assume. Seed bomb is an issue, right? Much higher base power. And grass type, right, and physical, which its physical moves are going to do more damage, right? Not only would I assume that it has more physical attack, but also again, do keep in mind that it does increase its physical attack by quite a bit, right? Once the HP bar starts going down. Brick break, it depends on your team comp. Could be annoying, could be kind of whatever, right? Wood hammer, that's gonna do a very, very high base power, and enemies taking recoil is nothing, so the recoil is gonna be nothing, and probably honestly it's probably gonna heal more than it takes recoil damage in grassy terrain, right? So wood hammers, that's definitely suspect as well. Facade, I don't think, does it have any move that statuses us? At least listed here. I don't think it does, right? Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about Facade. So yeah, I don't think Tapu Bulu is gonna be very, very hard. Looking from this, right? So in terms of some units we could do, just because, again, if you have these, it's gonna be easy. If you don't, then it's gonna be much more difficult, right? But everyone has a Koga, right? Everyone has Koga. Koga should do very, very, very well against this thing. Koga is probably overall the best poison damage dealer, probably right now. And for those who haven't upgraded their Crobats yet, I think we did get a 4-star tech candy very, very recently, so all y'all should probably have that. And you know, if you haven't invested into Koga yet, at least get him to 2 out of 5. You don't really need Koga at 3 out of 5. 2 out of 5 is sufficient enough. But obviously 3 out of 5 it would be very, very nice as well. But you don't need 3 out of 5. Like 2 out of 5 is really just good enough. Just pick up like stuff like Blind Spot and all that stuff. You know, some Toxic Power or whatever, and then like Koga should like just absolutely just nuke the poor Tapu Bulu, right? So offensively, Koga's fine. These like a lot of Poison Strikers are fine as well. Like Scolipede should do decent as well. Sao obviously should be very, very good here also. So Viper might do decent. Arbok maybe. Not too sure about Arbok, right? And flying is the more tricky part because none of you guys are really good except for Blue, which Blue is fantastic. Like if you have Blue, like this stage should be a bit of a joke, right? But if you don't have Blue, then it might be a bit tougher. You could maybe grid Swanna into like some kind of like damage grid, right? Not gonna be very, very good, but if you don't have like any other better options, right? If you don't have like any other great, you know, non-super effective units or strikers to go with it, like maybe you could just go for like damage grid Swanna, I guess. Got ramming speed on aerial ace, some stuff like that. I don't like, it's not the best. It's not the best, but you know, what can you do, right? What can you do? So yeah, in terms of striker, it really shouldn't be that difficult. In terms of grassy terrain, other than just like flinching it with like stuff like Acerola or Lycanroc or whatever, or putting it to sleep like Tech Executor, if you guys have that, or Tech Venusaur, or Agatha, Ramos, Serena, whatever, right? Another option is obviously to remove it with your own terrain, or a terrain mover like Altaria. You can remove it with that, right? If you have Altaria, or you have like Volkner or Mucharna when it comes out later in a few days, you can go for that as well. One poor person I forgot to mention, Nate's probably good. Nate's might be better, I think, than Swanna for doing damage. I think. Not 100% sure. He might not be. I'm kidding. Nate's probably going to be better than Swanna for doing damage, but again, Nate also not that great, right? Which is also coming in a day as well. But if you really don't have any options, then sure, go for Nate, I guess. But I would not, suggest anyone summoning on Nate's banner unless you're just like a huge Nate fan, right? But your usual really, really strong strikers like Steven. Like Steven just absolutely just obliterates Legendary Arena, right? I've seen like people just like autoing Legendary Arenas with Steven. Like dude's like built to fight Legendary Arenas, right? Obviously Steven should probably still do well here, especially with the flinch, delaying sync move on grass terrain and stuff, right? If you like tank with your own grass type units, that also might be pretty nice as well, because if you're using like a Vileplume or like maybe even Superior, but definitely something like a Meganium or Torterra. Torterra's a big one, right? Venusaur, there's a lot of grass type tanks. Oh my goodness! But yeah, if you're tanked with a grass type unit, it should be relatively helpful as well, since grassy terrain also heals, you guys, right? If you're grass, right? So grassy terrain might help in that sense. That could be good. So that's also an option to look at, right? In terms of stuff that you might want to use. So yeah, anyways, that's really this one, I guess. Just going over some stuff that you could maybe use against Tapu Bulu, stuff that you kind of sort of would be expecting. So anyways, again, that's maybe this one. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know guys in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video, so our channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. I'll see you guys in the next one.